I'm Lang Freeman from the band Sounds Into Radio, and we are here in San Antonio, Texas at Jack's Patio Bar for the Sounds Into Radio, Where My Communist Heart Meets My Capitalist Mind record release party. When we set out to record this new record, you know, we had sort of learned what we were going to be as a band through the process of making that first record. Started Cinematica, which was released in 2008, and through the process of making this new record, we sort of took this sort of foundational thing that we created for the band and sort of made an attempt to deconstruct it and reconstruct it to sort of create this whole other thing that was this new record. And I think, you know, I think we were successful. I love the record. I had this thing where I won't release a record unless I, you know, can stand behind every single note on it, and, you know, I'm unbelievably happy with the record. So the record came out, what was it, May 3rd, and then we did a big record release show in our hometown of Austin, Texas, and then kind of been doing some Texas tour dates around that. And we did a show with this band from the 80s, 90s called Echo and the Bunnymen in Austin. That was a really, really great show. And yeah, and then just sort of, you know, planning what we're doing the next couple of months. We're doing a Midwest acoustic tour, heading out to California to do some things, and just hoping to spread the word about the record. The theme of the record is this idea of your head versus your heart. It's about this internal struggle that we all have, where oftentimes the things that your heart feels and the things that your head feel, like, don't combine. They you know, there's a collision, and sometimes they blissfully collide. And that song is about those things, about the aftermath of the things that happen when they don't really agree. You know. We've had a handful of songs in the show The Vampire Diaries, which is on the CW, and, you know, I had not tapped into the fascination with vampires until then, and it's pretty amazing, you know, like the amount of people who are really into that stuff. And it's a great show, and, you know, all the Twilight stuff, and people seem to like it. We love, like, when we're on tour, where we were last year, we would plot and plan tour dates and tour stops around watching True Blood, so, you know, that's our thing. We don't write the music for movies and for television, though, you know, I think we sort of have this knack for writing stuff that would fit in that context. And so, yeah, I'm always sort of plotting and planning when I'm seeing movies, like, oh man, that would be great. I would love if our song was in that slot. I think it would work fantastically. But yeah, I love Donnie Darko. That's a great movie. Shawshank Redemption's a great film. Punch Drunk Love, things like that, like sort of darker comedies and you know, things. I love zombie movies too. I have to admit that. I absolutely love zombie movies. Like 28 Days Later is one of my favorite movies. Shaun of the Dead, that's a great movie. It's hilarious and still a great zombie flick. So, and any vampire movie, we have this thing, like, people seem to, you know, attach our band with vampires. So any vampire movie we can get our hands on. I love San Antonio. San Antonio is kind of like our second home. When we were starting as a band, you know, we would play, you know, we started in Austin, obviously, and played a lot there. And then when we sort of started expanding and touring, San Antonio was the first market that we started hitting. And Bradley, bass keyboard player in the band, actually grew up in San Antonio, so we sort of have roots here as well. But yeah, you know, the music community here has always been really supportive of what we do. There's a great, you know, great fan following here. We've been playing Jack's for, I don't even know how long, since, you know, since we started touring, when it was over in another location actually just down the road, and this new place is great. One of our favorite bands, you know, out from Texas right now is a band from San Antonio called Nothing More. We're big fans of that band, good friends with them. So yeah, I mean, the San Antonio music scene is really kicking, actually, you know. Best place to go is our website, soundsunderradio.com. You can go Facebook, Sounds Under Radio, MySpace, Sounds Under Radio. We have Twitter, SurTweet, S-U-R tweet. And you know, you can pick up the record on iTunes, Amazon, local record stores. It's all over the place. So.